Hey, what's going on? Yo, RNGesus, just the guy who I was trying to do this for. Perfect. But yeah, guys, how's it going? I'm not gonna delay too much here. I'm gonna get into this pretty quick, but over the last month or so, I was learning the ActRaiser speedrun, or I decided I want to learn the ActRaiser Professional mode speedrun, which is just the action stages for this game. And some people, I had mentioned that maybe I could go over my process of learning the run because I picked it up pretty quick. Within about 4 days, I was able to complete a pretty decent run of about 24-25 minutes or something. And you have the professional mode leaderboard here. I think where it was my first submitted time here. But yeah, I'm not trying to brag and stuff here, but just want to maybe help people out if this is going to be helpful. These are all the obsolete runs from all the runners, but it should show my first submission. Yeah, this is it. 2641. So I got this 3 weeks ago. I started actually learning the run about a few days prior to that. But basically, what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to show you how I decided to start the process of learning, and then go you through, and then walk you through my process of my practice routines and stuff. This isn't going to be this isn't going to take forever to do, but I'm just going to go long enough to show you guys how I like remember everything in the run and how I go about doing that and stuff. So that's the preface for what I'm doing here. Yeah, what's going on? Let me need to get my delays set up. Oh yeah, so the first thing you do is you decide on your speed game. I decided on professional mode for ActRaiser. And the first thing you probably want to do is come to the speedrun.com page, look at all these ads first. Come to the speedrun.com page and look on this side tab here. You can search the games up here, but come down here and you look at the guides and resources section. So we got some guides in here. You know, take a look at what you got going on there for stuff that's relevant to what you want to learn. So for me, that was actually the first thing I started with was a guide in the mechanics of the speedrun, which includes slash jumps and edge boosts. This was by Strayvarus. So I just went ahead and checked this out. This talks about some of the main mechanics of ActRaiser. Which one of them is when you jump at the height of when you're at the height of your jump, in a 6-frame window, you can press the slash button and you'll get a heightened jump. And then edge boosts are the fact that in ActRaiser, you have the character moving in like bursts, essentially. And if you try to jump during one of these bursts, the character will like lunge forward a little bit on the ground. So I went ahead and checked out those mechanics. The other first thing you probably want to do is to get on the Discord. So get that Discord link, because I had heard that there was a practice round for this game, and that was actually truly helpful. So we come to the Quintet Speedrun Hub. This is the Discord that's linked. And yeah, I came in here, whatever, this is the ActRaiser room, but go to the ActRaiser room, or tab, and went ahead and checked the pinned messages, because I was looking for the practice ROM. Turns out that here is the latest practice ROM patch. So I went ahead and got Lunar IPS, the patching program, and applied that to the ActRaiser ROM. This is a really good practice hack for this game, which was essential for me to learn this, because I actually didn't use any save states for learning this run. It was all just the practice ROM. So yeah, so you have the practice ROM. That's like probably the first main thing you want to get, and then go back to speedrun.com and we'll look at our go back to our guide section. In the guide section, we had a link to Sin Stream's platforming/pro mode tutorial video. This is a 3-hour and 22-minute video, but this was absolutely integral to picking up the game quickly. It took me 2 days of 8-hour sessions with breaks to actually go through this video and go through my process of learning. So at this point, I will actually show you the process in general of how I go through and learning. So yeah, Sin, he broke down the run pretty nicely here. He went ahead and actually talked about like pretty much. He was showing like how to go through the stage, and then like without explaining too much, then he would explain the tricks. And essentially, like what I do is I would just take bits and pieces of each section that he would go through, because he went through it very step by step with each stage. So basically, he would do like maybe half of this stage. Yeah, it is. Oh, that's GPK's chat. I thought that was my chat. It is a really good tutorial. So basically, the bottom line is like when I was learning this initially, like I had played this casually a bit, so I didn't need to like do a casual playthrough. But if you're me learning this from by raw, and you haven't done like a casual playthrough, highly recommend doing that first. But like I've played this I've actually played this a bunch of times, throughout time actually, because I had ActRaiser for a long time. Anyway, like. So yeah, he goes through all the bits and pieces of the levels, and basically he'd talk about it, and then he would explain it, and then I would just go ahead and load the practice ROM myself and try it myself. So I'm gonna run you through that process a little bit with the practice ROM already loaded up on my Mister. So let me just get rid of this. We have the Mister here. And yeah, so like this is the practice ROM. It's really good. One of the best things about it is this stage selection that's available in it. You get start from the beginning of the stage, middle of the stage, and at the boss. And some of these stages have multiple checkpoints that was inserted in, but most of them have like 1 or 2. You can refill your health by pressing B here. You can change the countdown, if it's running or not. It doesn't matter too much. You can turn on like a memory viewer, which shows you some stats about your coordinate. I didn't use that too much. And then when you exit a screen, you can have it advance to the next screen or repeat. That's pretty good. And then you just pretty much just hit the load down here, and you load the scene. Yeah, so I mean, say we start at stage 1 here. You know, like I say, I would just basically just try to copy what I saw in the tutorial. I don't even need to like play to demonstrate this really, but basically, I'll just try to copy it and just learn in bits and pieces. The main thing here is like you really want to get that memorization flow going. So I play like maybe half of this stage or something, or the full stage. This is a pretty short stage, and I just run through it a few times until I actually have like a general idea of what's going on in the stage. When it came to more advanced maneuvers or tricks, those are something you probably want to skim over and identify that you don't want to waste too much time on that type of stuff. So like Sin does go through some of the simpler strats and the advanced strats in his tutorial, And it's good that he did, because you just want to identify that so you can just focus on learning the bulk of the run. So yeah, it's really, so like I say, it's really all about just taking bits and pieces and chunks. And then once you have like, say, the full first stage down, replay the whole stage, like once all the way through, twice all the way through. And then once you kind of have a feel for it, and you've actually kind of committed to memory a little bit, move on to the next part. So yeah, so then you'd move on to the next part, say it's the next stage here. And basically just continue to do this, learning bits and pieces, taking in the tutorial, like going with him step by step here. You know, so I'd be like done with that stage, you know, I'm ready for the next part. Ready for the next part, so I'm gonna like, you know,
much easier. You don't have to deal with all these jumps.
I'm gonna listen to Sin's voice here, and he's gonna explain this stuff. And so here's another important thing. Notes are gonna help you remember all this information you're taking in. These notes I actually will not reference. I will actually not go back to reference my notes too often. This is simply to help me remember what the information I'm taking in. It's simple stuff, you know. It's like you're studying you're studying a subject, right? So you know, first of all, my notes, I took some of the miscellaneous stuff. I start the run at -839. Get extra 1-ups when you're first doing the run. I have like some stuff about the mechanics first of all. And this is just to help me remember. So if that works for you, that's great. I highly recommend the note-taking approach to help you remember. For me, I'm a really visual learner, so if I can see words and if I type out words and stuff and I read them back, that's gonna help me. That's gonna help me learn quite a bit, especially watching it being done in the tutorial. Yeah, so I just start out with the mechanics here, and then I just break down my notes from each stage. Here's Fillmore 1. I have a note here. I just make notes of things that you know, are probably notable to remember. For me, in stage 1, I noted there's a 1-up after the apple. I noted you can get 4 hits off of the jump in the approach to the boss. And you know, I went on to Blood Pool. Want Blood Pool 1. So let's just jump to Blood Pool 1 real quick here. So like, you know, I jumped to Blood Pool 1 there, and you know, I just some of the things he mentioned was if you nudge this first platform in this first level, you can get under this rock like this. If you nudge against this and jump, you go under this rock. Like I made a note about that. Slash jump near the end to get the apple. Into the boss. Once the music fades out, start jumping left. You know, this stuff, like I say, I don't need to, like, this isn't stuff you know, that's going to be particularly useful for someone else to go back and look on. This is mostly personal. So I have like a lot of notes, like, you know, just less like notable. You just want to pick out like details that you know, are gonna be something that's gonna stand out in the stage that you want to remember. Because I mean, a lot of this stuff is just holding right and just reacting to what you see in the game and jumping and attacking and that type of stuff. Like that's just all gonna come like a lot of that stuff's gonna come natural. You want to remember some of the important things. On the Manticore here, like for example, I made notes about the number of hits to make on the boss, because like this Manticore fight, you know, it looks kind of crazy with how much you're following him, but and like getting hits in, but really like the thing that's making it easy is I'm remembering the number of hits I need to do on the boss. So like I made a note here, like 4 left hits, 1 right hit, jump slash, then 6 hits. So like I kind of like that kind of thing is going to give me a general idea. of how to execute some stuff like this. It's like we come in here, like I know I can get 5 hits here, get 1 hit here. If I'm late, I can get 2 or 3 hits there, can get 3 hits there, get 2 hits there, then you just hammer on them. So like if you can segment your learning into chunks, like simple chunks of info, that's gonna streamline what you're doing. That's really gonna help you pick up information a lot faster. So like I don't know what would be another good example of that in my notes necessarily, but that's what the notes are for. The notes are good. I always make notes when I'm starting up a speed game. So like yeah, so the Manticore fight, you know, there's a lot of slashes you gotta do. You gotta be in the right spot. You know, it takes practice to get down, but this fight's actually pretty tough too. The other thing is like I could have spent a lot of time just learning this boss, trying to perfect it. You know, try to get all the hits so I can get like the fast kill. No need to do that. Once you have a section down good enough and you're able to get through, like you're good. Like you're good to go. You can you want to identify the advanced stuff and save that for later, because it's just going to slow you down in your learning process, and as a result, you're not going to be rewarded for your first runs, because if you're shifting your attention too much on, you know, extra hard details and stuff like that, you're probably going to be you're going to be taking in too much information. And that's something that is something you need to consider, like how much information you're taking in. And that's why I say, like, you want to repeat. You want to go back and actually replay the stuff you learned while I was going through this whole process. I'd learn, like, you know, this stage, and then I go to the next stage, learn that stage, and like play that a couple times through, feel comfortable with it. Learn the next stage, get comfortable with that. But then after that, go back and just do a run all the way through those 3 stages. Now that you assume you've learned them, just go back and just play through all of them and see just how well you've actually remembered it. That's really important, because you want to start, you know, cementing these motions that you're going to be going through the stage. It's how you're going to remember what to do. And you know, everyone's going to be learn a little bit differently, but for me, like, that's really effective. Let me see what RNG is saying here. He's taking notes on how to do it. It's funny. The notes on the inside. But yeah, so yeah, that's really important, that you go back and replay the stages repeatedly as you're going through, because you're trying to get the whole run. You're trying to get the whole picture of the run in your mind and that type of thing. So I mean, maybe just go over my notes a little bit more here. Like in Bloodpool 2, you had some pretty vital details at the beginning. You know, you have to, for this part's pretty particular. Like you can do this a few different ways, but you got to be fast enough to catch this platform, and to do that, like, this sequence of actions works. It just works really consistently. So I would just like do the extended jump down. You don't even need to do an extended jump down here, but hit these 2 guys, run forward, kill them, slash forward, and then maybe get another extended jump slash to make the platform. You know, it's just so there's a few things I'm remembering here. You know, I'm remembering to jump at the beginning of the level. I'm remembering to crouch slash. It's easy to remember to kill that next guy because he's just right in my way, so it's like whatever. Then just jump, and then just jump again. Like, that's easy. Like, you know, that's simple stuff. Just boil it down. If you can, you know, boil down the information in your mind to like easy ways to remember stuff. For example, the amount of hits on the Manticore, or other such little things like that. Like that's really helpful. Really depends on the person and what kind of tricks you want to use. Like, I don't know how, like, you know, everyone learns differently, like I say, but it's good to try to use little memory tricks like that. So I try to keep my notes somewhat simple so that I'm taking in the important information. In the beginning of Cassandora, let's just move on to that. you know, first screen, jump over everything, I wrote. Deboost back the first flame. You know, that's really all I need to know for this first section. So, yep, I'm just gonna jump over this, jump over this, jump over that, jump over this, jump over this, and then now we have the flame. Back boost into the flame. That's all the information I needed to know. And you don't need to go crazy articulate, you know, learning every little step through. You know, you just want to boil down the information as much as possible. So I think that gives a good insight into my process here, and I would just go through the whole game doing this. I would sometimes name some sections that were of note. You know, screen 2 is the pyramid jump. What kind of other notes would I take here? Like, so yeah, jump over with deboost back the first flame, jump slash the pit plants, walk through the rest of the plants, apple in here mid through. You can take notes of like items that are in there. Second screen, deboost back the first enemy. So this is this is a pretty long process. Like I say, it took me approximately 16 hours to go through Sin's tutorial here.
So don't think.
And really just
first try.
Go bit by bit. Just learn a section, go back, repeat, rinse and repeat. Just constantly going back and forth. And like this is something I didn't want to stream because I'm bringing up Sin's stream here. I'm bringing it up, and then I'm going back. And then I'm going back to my game, and then I'm going back to Sin. Like if I was on stream doing this, like I'd be constantly like clicking on clicking this and that, trying to get things out of the way. Like I don't know. It's just and then the other thing is if I was streaming it, I'd be like getting distracted by like the chat or whatever, trying to just monitor the stream. So like, for me, that was not something I wanted to do. I don't like streaming my learning process. But in this case, I will specifically show you guys how I did it. So yeah, Sin's tutorial though, so good, so helpful for learning this. If you don't have a tutorial, like you basically just do the same thing. You just play through the stages, take note of some of the important elements, maybe some things that are going to help you go fast, especially if you're like routing a game. Because when there's a tutorial, you're skipping the routing process. But if I was doing the routing process for ActRaiser, there's going to be more work to go in because you're going to be going through trial and error, trying to figure out what are good ways to go through the stage, and that the notes are going to come in handy again there because when you're routing, like you're going to find a lot of different solutions to different parts, and it's not easy to remember like that solution if you're just going to be like, if you're going to learn this part and then maybe move on to the next part. Take a note of you probably want to take a note of how you actually which solution you figured out. Is it going to be like jump over this guy first and then do this, or something else? Like take notes of that. So the routing is a whole different story. When you have a game routed already, you have most of the work done for you, and that was definitely a big help in learning the ActRaiser run. So Sin's tutorial, super good. It's long. It's 3 hours and 20 minutes. And like I was really glad that he was really thorough.
Otherwise I get bounced.
And explaining stuff because it was pretty nice.
One of the harder rooms in the speedrun. So I'm gonna spend a little time here because even you take this for granted. Like missing that costs 4 seconds. These damage boosts kind of tough.
So he breaks it down like just like I did in my notes, basically in his tutorial. It's just in verbal explanation. Kind of going back to the notes, like I've mentioned go to mid of platform. I don't know. Sometimes like in my notes too, like there might be something that can be done a few different ways. I might go back and make a new note for like how I actually want to do it. So like for the pyramid jump, I changed my method on that multiple times, and I wrote like new method / jump to first platform, jump forward up, buffer jump / I don't know, whatever. But yeah, guys, I mean, you can't. You're not gonna learn it right. You know, you're not. It's not gonna take It's not gonna be immediate. But if you take the time and dedication to, especially if you have these good resources, you're gonna be able to pick up a run really quickly. You should spend the time though, because if I was to learn this, maybe just doing casual runs through the game, and not thinking, not having a tutorial or not having any of this info, like, man, I probably would be I'd probably be way back in the learning process, because you're not going to pick up stuff just doing casual runs. You got to analyze the gameplay. Yeah, learn it right the first time so you don't have bad habits. Like, it's really a good thing to mention. Because you want to set yourself up so that you're taking basically the least path of resistance through the game.
Okay.
And to do that, you do some efficient practice and learning. Like, sometimes I see people in like speedrun streams, and they're like, maybe they don't speedrun the game, but they've played it casually, and they say like, even last night I heard someone say in another stream, just another Ninja Gaiden runner on the NES, like, they said, I can only beat this game with 3 continues and it takes me 3 hours. I have no idea how you can get through this fast. And I just actually replied to that person in that chat room, and I said, well, if you study the game, I said study a run and then efficient practice. Like, that's the main. Those are like your 2 core things to learning a run. So really, like, as far as like that person, I know it's like it's an innocent comment from that person. But I mean, there's an answer. I mean, there's a clear answer, and anyone can do it. It's just you have to actually, jump in and watch a run, whether it be the tutorial here or you go to like a leaderboard for a speed run and you check out the runs. Sometimes something you can do is if you don't have a guide, and probably not a best idea to watch the best run of the game right away. You may want to go down like middle of the road and see how someone actually uses the less intense strategies. Like, you might want to go down here. Yeah, I was just saying at the beginning of this that I had played through pro mode on ActRaiser like at least 5 or 6 times throughout the years, or probably like 10 times actually. I never went through it trying to speedrun it, but I did play pro mode a few times, and I had played through ActRaiser a bunch of times. And like, you want to play through the game casually first. Like, that's usually pretty important. Unless it's some game that's like really extremely simple to speedrun, like some NES games are very simple. Maybe you don't need to do that. It just really depends on what you want to get out of it. Some people want to have this process be where they're like playing it, just casually. They're just doing runs through with their own discretion, no external influences, and they wanted to see like how they can do that. Like, for me, that would be like with Dark Souls. In Dark Souls, I like Dark Souls a lot, and I wanted to like kind of go fast in it, and all I did was I just replayed the game and tried to remember some things that helped me go a little bit quicker through the game, and I was able to complete the game eventually in like 6 hours. But in reality, like the speedrun for that, like beating all the bosses without glitches, is like 2 hours. So I mean, if that's fun for you, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, what's going on, Ann? Thanks, Lamisar. But yeah, I mean, so that's so I went over the main points about what I do here. As you go into, once you've got the run down, and you've completed, like say you've completed a run, well, you're probably ready to go to the next step of things, learning the advanced strat. So you can then make new notes, so you can help remember some advanced strats. Like at one point here, I went through Telio's run, and I looked at some things that he was doing that were different and faster. And so I made some notes here. I actually didn't even go back and reference these because I eventually just kind of was just watching stuff and then just applying it to my practice. But I mean, the notes are going to help you remember stuff. And like, I think the main purpose of taking some notes like this is just to help your brain remember like what's possible in the game. You know, it says, you know, like in Cassandra 1, let's say, you know, but you can get 10 hits on the first cycle jumping back. I think what's Cassandra 1 again? That's the jungle, right? But yeah, so I mean, I didn't have any notes for Cassandra 2 for him. Like, I don't know. So like I went through and, you know, took some more notes in here. And then I have like additional notes about some things I may have learned later on. And this is just all to help the memory process, because memorization is like your number one factor here. Lactose 1, need to learn fast apple. Remember about the fast apple. Then I went through and I watched Bismarck's run. I took some notes on what he did differently. Once you're getting into the advanced stuff, like, you probably want to, if you got other resources or other runs, you know, it's always good to look at multiple runs, because you're gonna see how people do stuff differently. And sometimes they can have something that's something where they can do something easier than someone else with not as much of a time loss. I learned you could duck under the arrow in Bismarck's run in the pyramid stage, and now I'm ducking under the arrow every time, because saving that health is kind of nice. Because this damn pyramid, like, if you get hit too many times here, it kind of sucks. Like, if you get hit too many times in the beginning here, you're gonna have to take a death on the checkpoint, and that kind of sucks. And like, the section's pretty tough, but like, yeah, I can like avoid damage there. And I eventually figured out a way I want to do this. Like, this is how I'm doing it every time now. Don't always get every jump, but this part's impossible. But yeah, it's always like, you know, you want to just go through stuff and just find out what works for you, and then maybe just stick with what works. You know, you don't have to go crazy trying to do something or copy something if you're just getting halfway there at first. You know, you can get halfway there and then just revisit it later. So like, I would say, like, you know, the learning process is kind of it's in phases. Like, first you want to put together the full run. Once you have the full run, you can start adding in those bits and pieces of the advanced strats. Start adding them in, like, bit by bit. So for me, like, you know, after the first week, I had the run down, and then I went back and I tried to examine, like, what are the next things I want to start adding in and getting better at. Try to identify, like, your tiers of the strats that are, you know, the tiers of difficulty of the strats you're going to be adding in, because you're not going to get you're not going to get returns off of, like, learning an advanced strat before, like, less advanced strats. It's just going to be like, ooh, I did this cool thing, but then, like, you're going to, like, you know, fail on, like, an easier part later on, and you're gonna look stupid. I even have, like, the later Telio notes, because he's been doing runs again and stuff. Like, I have the later Bismarck notes, like, you know, later own notes. I have in my, like, I have the later notes, and, like, this is pretty much the end of the notes. Like, I don't really need to take notes anymore. I did take some more, because I watched Quasar's task, so I watched the tool assisted run for the game as well by Quasar, and some things looked interesting to me that I thought might be RT viable. You know, took some notes on that, just so I can remember what those things were. You know, that's all it is. Just help you, you know, it's like you're actually, you know, studying something. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's my that's generally like the process I went through to learn the game. And so I did all that, and like I say, like, it's really important well, for me, it was pretty important that I got the foundation, then started adding in the little advanced bits and pieces. Then once I had that, now I'm in the phase of, okay, I really like want to find like these next easiest strats, and then like at the end possibly add in like the hardest strats. Like right now, I don't know how to do like the fast strat on the fire wheel boss, because I tried it and it's like the execution's really hard. And if you can't get the execution on something, like, you probably just need to get more familiar with the game mechanics. And that's why, you know, like, doing full runs while you're doing practice, like, again, like, I'd be halfway through learning, and I would just like be like, okay, time to go back and just play through the first half. When I'm playing through the first half, if I like fuck up on a section, you know, with the practice hack, just reload that section and just work out those kinks. So, you know, it's actually like learning how to play a song on an instrument. If anyone like does instruments, like, you gotta learn all the passages, and if you're fucking up on one and you're not gonna be able to play the song smoothly, well, then you gotta focus on like that part. Otherwise, every time when you're doing the fucking song, you're gonna fuck up on that part, and it's not gonna be smooth. It's gonna be ass. And that's like kind of like a speed run. It's like a pretty good analogy, anyways. But yeah, so this tutorial's long, but it's good. Really great resource. But yeah, again, like, you're not always going to have that. Just try your best to take in the info. So I mean, like, so actually, you know, pretty sizable amount of notes here, but this is just kind of helping me learn. Not too much else to mention. As far as it comes to, I mean, cues are, definitely cues are something you want to take notes of. Cues are super important in a speed run, because like that's basically all, like, you're going from one thing to the next. That's really all. It's really all I gotta think about is like your cues. So like in this stage, I mean, I got cues for everything. Like, I know that if I jump in this space right here, I'm gonna get a boost, because the way the game works. So like, I can jump here, I can get a little boost. I can actually get a boost down there too. Here, the cue is this line in the rock. Then at the edge, and then at this middle line, I do a back jump. Oh fuck! Run that through again. But yeah, cues are super important. Yeah, good to mention. Like, that's something you're gonna want to take notes of. But yeah, like, the game is like, a game's a good speedrun if it's got like a good backgrounds, because like, these are gonna comprise like how well you're gonna be able to use the background for doing stuff. So like here, I realized that the space in between the pillar, you can get an edge boost. The middle line right here is the place I decided I wanted to jump. It's really easy. It's the middle line, whatever. The middle line here is good. I mean, the middle line is where you jump over these mummies. It's convenient. And like, I feel like good game design has like these cues in place for you to actually do stuff like this. Like, a lot of games actually have great background cues, and I think they're there for a reason. So like, jump in the middle, jump to that line, jump at that line. Oh, I got an edge boost, so I'm not getting those mummy jumps. So this section sucks, but yeah. It's all about cues. Like, you're always gonna want to know your cues. That is very important. Super, super duper important. But yeah, I mean, use the backgrounds. The backgrounds are super. If you're not using visual cues for a speedrun, you're not doing it right. It's your bread and butter, for sure. And you can use like other cues, like you can use like when the timer flips. Like for me, like doing the spore boost, my way of getting it consistent was actually relying on the timer. So let me go to the old spore boost. I found out that the way you move up to this section kind of determines when you're gonna get this spore to spawn. So on this section, like I determined that I needed to have my movement perfect. As perfect as I could get without like too much variation. So for me, that was this movement where puppy, where like hold jump over, run over and jump, and then slash jump here, and then jump up, and then run over, jump to the right, and then jump to the left. Puppy, quiet! And then here, like, my cue was like when the number flipped to 285, for example, I would like do 3 slashes, and then do that. The nice thing about this, well, for ActRaiser specifically, there's a lot of buffer stuff in this game, and that's super important to actually like playing this game effectively. I'll just demonstrate. So anytime you do a slash, you can just hold the jump button, and you'll just jump in the direction that you're holding. In this game as well, like if you press the attack button and then you just hold the attack button afterwards, you get a second slash as well. And so like I'm able to get chained slashes with no interruptions of time, just by like tapping and holding. Like there's like no interruption in that. So yeah, that's actually very important in this game to have those buffers, because it's a good way to set up stuff. The buffers are important for like in this game in particular for setting up certain sections, because of the mechanic where the character will sometimes like well, it's called boost. Like every now and then the character will just like move forward like this, like he moves forward in like this length. If you hold forward long enough, he always moves forward like this far. If you tap, he never does that. But if I hold the button long enough, he does like 2 steps. Because of this, you actually have to plan ahead your movement, and this like step forward mechanic is reset whenever you like land on the ground. So like let's see a good example of the buffers here. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a call. Alright, 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So like, I don't know, what's a good example of buffer and stuff where it's like pretty important? Maybe this section's pretty technical with that. Alright, so like I'll get into like a little bit more of the nitty-gritty with ActRaiser in particular, just to cap off this this like little thing I'm doing. Like at the beginning of this scene, like when you're moving, the character will actually he'll do that boost forward, and his one of the boosts ends at this cue here, this line. So like this is where I decided to do this this trick that I started doing. Because if you don't know where you can stop in the movement cycle, you're just gonna go forward and like fall off a ledge or something. So like at the beginning of the scene, like I know I can just stop there, back around, and go up there like that. Jump. So then I jump at this line here, wait for that guy, and then jump down or whatever. And like my cue here would be like, where's Rez? I don't know, where's Rez looking next to that guy, but yeah. But then like if you're getting like advanced into this game, like I think it's a really good idea to actually get used to like getting the boost every time you land a jump, because in a lot of cases you have to do a lot of jumps in this game, so there's no reason not to like get used to doing a boost after you land. It's like a little bit after you land that you get it. And you can kind of see the character shuffle for a little bit. It's actually a pretty fun mechanic. I don't think everyone likes it about this game, but I like it. Because it kind of makes you plan ahead the stages, and the stages can reward you in small chunks of time because of that. It's important to know about that step forward mechanic, like for example in ITOS 1. Because if you don't know about that, you're probably just gonna fall in the lava, and it really sucks. And like, yeah. So like, maybe I just run through like how I do ITOS 1, for example, which is like one of the most annoying sections. So like, I tried to look for like a boost, like a place to boost there. Anyway, I found out that if you boost off this guy and then get another boost, you can actually just jump right into this enemy. And I got the boost, so I actually saved a little time, and then I just kind of snapped to the ground. Here, like, it's really good just to like, once you land, just tap left, so I can just easily turn around. And then I don't actually have cues for this next part, but you know, since I don't have cues for that, you have to like make sure you're holding right long enough so that you turn around. Because what will happen is you'll try to like tap right or just hold left or right or backwards as you're running, and you're not gonna turn around. Like I pressed left there, I didn't turn around. Like that's what I'm talking about. That's what this game does. Yeah, so you have to be really aware of that. I like just running into this guy, by the way. It works pretty good. But yeah, I had boost there, and actually like that's actually pretty good. There you go. But yeah, at this point, if anyone has any other further, if RNGesus or anyone has any further questions about the learning process of this game, feel free to ask. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of go through the process here. It ended up being a little bit longer than I wanted, but I wanted to make this less than hours to give people an idea of how I personally learn a speedrun and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty much done here. Yeah, visual cues were super important in this game. Super duper important. Like on this stage, like this is kind of an early stage in the game. A lot of cues. There's a cue right here. This dark crack. I found out, well, if you jump after that crack, not before, but after, you pretty much always get this jump that sets you up because it falls into the boost. You always get this jump slash that works. I usually just look at his feet. I'd say his character's feet are a good cue, and then his head can be good. I don't like using the sword as a cue for stuff, but in theory you could do that too. But yeah, just running through some more cues again. Like, you got this right here. I run to the edges of these. It'll get you the edge boost for the most part. Let's run to the edges here. I run to the edge here. right before the, so in those two cases I'm jumping just before the edge. It works out. Jump at the edge. I just learned that back boost. Here I know that the position for not getting hit by this boss is when his feet are when his ankle is like slightly off of the slope, but not in that quicksand slope, the moving quicksand slope. I know you're in the position here not to get hit, so actually that was the position. So like when I come into this boss fight, the way I do it is I just let the quicksand suck me into the spot, and then I just tap forward a couple times, and then I'll probably be in the spot. I wasn't in the spot, but it's pretty tough. Yeah, a good cue really makes a big difference, because if you have a bad cue, like your mind is not going to be able to read that as well. So try to identify what you're using on the character as a cue, as well as parts of the background, and whatever works best. Whatever works best. For Zeppelin Wolf, I was struggling with getting the timing for this fight, so what I devised is I start the fight with 4 slashes. It sets me up to get him good to go. Then the other thing I'm doing is once he's done teleporting, I found out that 2 slashes, if you're in this position, always sets you up for the timing to get him. So like just like watch here. He's gonna teleport away. Once he's done teleporting, slash slash, he's over on the right side. Slash slash, he's over on the left side. Slash slash, he's over here. Slash slash, he's over here. I'm ready to go. That's the nice thing about this game is using the slashes to actually set up your timing. Like that's actually really useful, and you can do it a few different ways. Like you could do the standing slashes, you could do a crouch slash that takes a little bit longer. The problem with the crouch slash is like the timing for doing the consecutive crouch slash is kind of specific, so I don't like using those. But yeah, those standing slashes really useful for the time-based stuff. I use that in a few different spots. But yeah, I'd say, cues are your bread and butter for sure. So yeah, just go with that. Sometimes your cue is a character sprite doing his action in your mind and not the background, so you avoid blunders. I mean, you kind of want to link the two. You want to link the cue to what you're doing. Some stuff, if you don't have a good cue, especially in this game, if you don't have a good cue, or like there's nothing to set you up, you're gonna have to hold left or right long enough so that the character turns around. That's just how it is. There's a few spots in the game like that. Oh man, guys, let me show you some dank shit. I'm doing a new strat, and I'm doing another back boost in Snowfield. Off the statue here. Check this out. Yo, look at that. The back boost turnaround up onto the top platform. Nice. Yeah, that's one of the newer strats I'm doing. That's another thing is like any of these strats in this game, like where you need to turn around, after landing a jump is the best time to do that, because you're not going to be able to do the quick turnaround on the ground. If you're moving like without a cue, like you're probably gonna have to wait to do the turnaround. So anytime you jump, like you can just turn around immediately. Really useful. As for this game, like the extended jump slash is like the main thing you're going to be doing, and that just becomes second nature the more you do it. And then like there's like the standing jump slash as well, which is like really important too for some of the advanced strats. But that's just tapping forward and then just doing the extended jump slash again while holding back. But you have to tap forward to do it. can always tell the jump slash works if the if the screen actually shifts up. That's how you know it's working. It's actually really generous timing. If the timing for that jump slash was harder, like, man, this game would be so different. But it's actually pretty generous. Man, if the extended jump slash timing was like 3 frames instead of 6 or whatever, or even 2 frames versus 6, man, it'd be such a hard run. You'd probably have to do slightly different routing. But yeah, guys, that's kind of what I wanted to show off. Hope it's helpful to someone. At this point, I'm probably just gonna do a little practice, and then I'm gonna use the restroom. Then I guess I'll do some runs, a few runs and stuff, and kind of go from there. So I'll be back in about 5 minutes. If anyone does have any further questions though about this game, you can feel free to ask me or pretty much anyone active in the ActRaiser community. They'll help you out. That's like Tellyu1, that's Quasar, that's Deraze, that's Verilix, that's Sin Stream, and myself, and Tetsuo. That's everyone right now. But yeah, and then you want to get in that Discord too. Anyway, I'll be back shortly.